Things are looking a little bit strange, and today I wish to talk about and hopefully review to the best of my abilities once again with Fate Strange Fake. Yeah, final episode just aired, and I wish to simply talk about it because I think that this show is gonna go down as one of the most underrated animes of this year. And I don't say it lightly because, as you know, Fate Strange Fake, this is part of the Fate State Night, Fate Zero series, what have you. And for a while, I think there's been like a lot of questions for anyone that's skeptical and checking this show out. Like, hey, am I supposed to watch like the Fate Zero series from back in the day, or all these different like branches of the Fate series that's out there that I gotta check out before watching Fate Stage Fake? Like, what's the order? Where do I go? And for me personally, I think that if you really want to get like a glimpse of Fate Strange Fake and what you're running into, I think look no further than the 2012 2014, if I'm not mistaken, about a year of Fate Zero, which I think is like in my view like the best that Fate shows to offer, and I think is like a gateway to the Fate franchise in my opinion. I also think that Fate Strange Fate going to this show has honestly got me to really want to go back and try to watch every single Fate series now as a result of this show being so amazing. Again, the animation for the show is just impeccable. It is near perfect. It's probably the best fight choreography out there you're going to see this year. The story, the build up, it is not only staying true to its name's sake, but it is just full of wonders, full of mystery, and you get to come across some amazing characters and hope to see them like fight to the very end of this holy grail war. And again, when I initially talked about this back then, like a couple months ago, making a halfway point review of this, I did at least stay like the first half of the show to the best of my abilities. And since then, the second half of the show has really gone like full throttle, all stop, and no breaks included. And it's been like a wild ride. So I guess before I talk about the second half of the show, I guess spoiler warning. This second half really revolves around um, a lot of the main key plot characters, mainly a lot of the summoners and a lot of the heroes that are now coming to fruition of like this Holy Grail War. Everyone's being self-aware about it. The whole world knows about it, and during this like massive big scuffle, a lot of these warriors come across their real true powers. A lot of like big twists and turns of some characters that you thought were killed off a couple episodes prior comes back, and then the one character I really want to highlight in this final review today is a character with Tsubaki Kuruka and the family of the Kurukas that were surrounding her. And my gosh, her fate, the way why she was part of the Holy Grail War, is absolutely devastating. It if you remember that infamous scene from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood with, I think it was with the, God, it's been a fucking minute, but you know what scene I'm talking about, right? With the kid and she got transformed into a chimera of her own choosing by her fucked up father. Subuki Kuroka's story, when you get to know her, is 20 times worse, and is a fate that's just so sickening, but at the same time, you know that like she didn't ask to be part of the Holy Grail War. She's just a kid at the end of the day, and she thinks that by doing what she's doing, like she's following her mama and papa's advice of just doing what she's being told so that she can be full of love and laughter, etc. And once again, the characters in this show outside of this is like so great, so amazing. A lot of them just fit in that ballpark of just where every character is super unpredictable, but has the most badass and maybe like the most weirdest way of like closing out or starting a fight. And again, a lot of highlights being thrown away from the assassin, which spoiler alert is actually Zabania in disguise. There's also, again, as I mentioned in my first video, talk about Saber and his backstory as to why he is the Saber in this timeline, and Flat, who, goddamn, Flat, easily my favorite character in the show. His story, his fate in this show is one that I think is gonna sting with me and stay with me for the very end of 2026. And I don't say it lightly because, like I said, I think this show in itself was able to handle action and explanations of said story really well in a really bountiful way. Because take for example Jujutsu Kaisen season 3, which just wrapped up just yesterday. Like that show, for all the shortcomings that that show had, the issue I had with Jujutsu Kaisen, as I was reflecting on it, was that there were moments in the show where we had a lot of really good, amazing action, nuts to butts animation. Here we go, but then for some reason they just last fucking minute just pull the card and be like, okay, stop. No more action. We now gotta explain so much plot to you because you guys are not going to retain everything that's going on. And I don't know, that was okay, I understand, but it really did get lost in the sauce in its story, in its plot at times. But in the case of Fate Strange Fake, I never really got lost in the plot at all. Every character you come across, because again, there are so many characters to come across in Fate Strange Fake, I was hooked. I actually knew what each character was going for, what their motivations were, and I think it didn't lose that momentum up until the very end. And given this really big climactic cliffhanger that just aired for today's episode today, I'm 100% looking forward to a season 2 or possibly a part 2 of Fate Strange Fake because this show is so good. I think that this is a must watch. I think that this, for me, comfortably is just one of a kind, unique, and I think should be like a gateway for anyone who maybe at one point wanted to check out the Fate series, could be the gateway to check out the Fate franchise itself. And at least for me personally, this is actually making me want to try again and rewatch a lot of the past Fate shows itself. Because there was a point in time where I wanted to watch every Fate series, but then I kind of just dropped it off after a while because it was just too much, too long. What's the point? But now looking back at it, if I was able to watch through the entire series of Gintama and Dragon Ball Z and what have you, I think we could do this with the Fate series. I just gotta dedicate a time and place and go from there. So yeah, Fate Strange Fake. This is absolutely incredible. One of the most underrated and standout shows of the year. I think that this I had a lot more bang for my buck compared to the other shows I've given as of late. And hey, this may be a little higher up there for where I'm going to place this, but I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on this thing. It's really good. It's starting off really strong off the gate. Yes, there may be some shortcomings with moments where you may not get to understand every single character in detail. Yes, I understand that maybe there are so many plot holes that are unanswered as of right now, but like I said, it's a strong 8 to a light 9 at the end of the day. So maybe there's hope that in the second half or a second season of the show, it's going to wrap itself up perfectly. But it's starting off, like I said, really strong if this is the case. And with that being said, just want to simply rant and talk about Fate Strange Fake. Really good show, highly recommend, and that's it. See you on the next one. Later.